from the Daily Mail. Senator who cornered Secret Service director in a GOP convention luxury suite reveals what he asked that sent her running. After 20-year-old Thomas Crooks shot former President Trump and killed former firefighter Corey Comprator at a rally on Sunday, Cheadle has been called on to resign, and multiple investigations into the matter have been announced. On a call Wednesday with Cheadle, FBI Director Christopher Wray and lawmakers, officials revealed Trump's protective details spotted the shooter 20 minutes before he opened fire. On that call, Cheadle refused to respond to questions about why Trump was allowed to take the stage. So we saw this recently, that apparently she decided to walk into the RNC and was hounded by basically everybody, journalists, Republicans, politicians. I'm actually surprised she thought she could show up here and people would just be like, yeah, sure, okay, fine. I don't even know if resignation is enough. I don't know that she has any direct involvement in what happened. But again, the idea that they saw the guy 3 hours prior with a rangefinder. An hour before the shot, they took pictures of him. 26 minutes, again, another confrontation, that 2 local law enforcement confronted him, that she's lying. No way am I going to play any of their game. She's lying when she says the roof was sloped, so we didn't have anybody up there. That's nonsense. And
yeah, makes no sense.
I'll cite Dan Bongino. They also didn't block line of sight. And then they lied and claimed local law enforcement was supposed to be protecting that, not them. And local law enforcement says, are you nuts? No, we weren't. This lady has lied about it. And I want answers. So I'm hoping that this may be the first time. But I'll tell you this, Tucker Carlson said this could be the first. This may be one of the only crimes we actually get resolved because of all these are my words, arrogant and egotistical members of Congress who think they will one day be president and they don't want to be in that situation. But it is actually stunning. We are at a time. I grew up. The JFK shooting, you're a conspiracy theorist if you suggest anything about it other than a crazy guy took action.
Yeah, everyone freaked out about Oliver Stone's movie.
Absolutely. But now, I sit down with Ron Paul, Luke and I, what was it, a couple years ago?
Oh, yeah.
2 years ago. And he says it was the CIA. And that's a former member of Congress, a mainstream talking point. And then we hear this when we interview RFK Jr. only a few months ago. And he says outright, the CIA killed my dad and my uncle. We are now at the point where when this happens, there's no official narrative. There was the media coming out immediately saying, here's what happened. Here's your story and pass it along like we would normally expect in the past. This time around, immediately everybody said, inside job, official capacity, we want answers.
And then to have them there, that I'm friends with Kevin Cramer, Senator Cramer. The ones you're listing there, Marsha Blackburn and the other senators, these are the ones that actually stepped up right after the 2020 election. I was with them. Those are the ones that actually listened to all the stuff and all the evidence we had. And they said they took a step back, looked at it all. Of course, nobody listened to them either then, but if more people are like them, more senators calling them out, they've got to put, I like that. There's 3 of them joined Kevin and put that pressure on her. She's, and it's different. It's going to be different. All these things that have happened to us is since the 2020 election, people's eyes are getting open up. It's like if they gave us another virus, another China virus 2.0, you think we'd all be outside eating in snowbanks and wearing masks and doing all this other stuff? We wouldn't put up with it. So these things, I think people are finally getting courageous, including senators.
I think the Epstein files may have been, if not the dam breaking, but a crack in the dam.
Yep.
And so shout out to, I think it was the Miami Herald as well as Mike Cernovich, who reopened that story. Of course, Alex Jones has been talking about it for a long time. But all of a sudden, the Epstein conspiracy story goes mainstream. James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, got that video of Amy Rohrbach saying, I had the story and they killed it. Piece by piece is hitting the mainstream narrative, and the corporate press couldn't keep it down to the point where they had no choice but to make a move on Epstein. And then they made a move on Epstein. But the moment he did, everyone just knew, and they knew. There was no conspiracy theory. There was no ridicule from the corporate press. It was outright, ain't no reasonable person going to believe that Epstein just curled up on the top bunk of his narrow bed with a sheet on his neck and then lunged forward on his knees. It made no sense.